They don't want to be recognized as Muslims. Inferiority complex. And the clever, they are clever fools, wallah, they are clever fools. And when I'm talking to them, I said, look man, this is a very, very essential thing. Identity. Identify yourself. It gives you power. It boosts your morale. It terrifies the enemy. And innocent. Nobody can say you're provoking him, you're looking for a fight. When this little humble thing you put on, you know what it's doing to him. This topee. You are a challenge. 300 years they tried to convert your fathers. They hammered you people, they enslaved you people, changed your surnames, changed your language, made you to do the Kun carnival, join them too. Our sons, our brothers. You can't say, no, they're not my brothers, they're not Muslims. They're Muslims who do the Kun carnival. Muslims, no. They're also there. Yes. 300 years, they did it to us. But still, you are there. You are more than what they could ever expect by natural procreation, biological factors. What your forefathers were brought here from Malaysia, Indonesia, and from Bengal, this is not the natural product by physiological procreation. You have been able to steal from the other communities, strengthening your own community more and more and more. They know that. Instead of digesting you, you have become the indigestible material after 300 years. Of course, under the new policies, we are now in greater danger. Previously, we were living together in District 6, in the old Malay quarters, here, there, and we were able to defend ourselves. Now, for every 5 colored homes, 1 Muslim. For every 5 colored homes, 2, 3 colored homes, 1 Muslim. They dispersed us. Our son will fall in love with a colored girl, Christian girl. And our daughter will fall in love with a Christian boy, colored boy. And Islam gets diluted. Dangers, dangers, dangers. There are greater dangers now than before. That attack was a good thing. It kept us together. We were on the defense. But now we are relaxed. We're living together. You know, they come into our homes, we go into their homes. You can't help it. Your wife runs short of salt. What does she? She goes next door. They run short of salt. What do they? They come to your house. That affinity is there. And there is a greater danger in we losing out. But now, the identity. The Indian Muslim, the younger generation, very clever. They're my people, very clever. And I'm talking about a headgear. They say Islam is not in the hat. Islam is not in the beard. Can you argue against that? Islam is not in your hat. Islam is not in your beard. That's a right. You've got to give in. It's a fact. Islam is not in the hat. If you put this hat on a kafir, murtad, that doesn't make him a Muslim, does it? No. The Sikhs, they have better beards than the Muslims. You know, nice. Makarios, that bishop in Cyprus, you know, he had the most beautiful beard that you can know. I haven't seen a Tablighi brother anywhere in my life who's had a big size beard as the Makarios. Look, admit it. Does that make him a Muslim? No. So Islam is not in the hat, Islam is not in the beard. So I'm asking, where is your Islam? It says in the heart. It says very good. No trouble. Between you and Allah, no problem. Between you and Allah, no problem. If you deserve Jannah, He'll give you Jannah. If you deserve Jahannam, hell, He'll give you hell. He knows, He won't make a mistake with you. With a beard or without a beard, He won't make a mistake. But I said, look man, me, your brother, your uncle, I want to recognize you. I want to wish you salams. When I see you, I want to wish you salams. You're depriving me of that. Suppose you came to Durban and you're looking around outside the masjid. There are hundreds of Muslims milling to go into the mosque, but you can't recognize anybody. They look like anybody else. They look like Hindus, they look like Christians, because in our looks we are the same. At times in our surnames we are the same with the other guys. Like you are. Mr. Brown, our Hafiz, our Qari is a Brown. And you'll find another Brown is a Christian, color. I had a lady yesterday, Mrs. Johnson. She's a Muslimah. I said, your husband? He says, he's also Johnson. I said, is he a Muslim? I said, yes. Living on Johnson Road. Yes. Look, but now I have to ask, are you Muslim? Are you Muslim? Mr. Johnson came, Mr. Johnson, I don't know whether he's a Muslim, but if he's got something on, I know he's a Muslim. I want to know so I can wish you. If I wish you salams before you can wish me, I get more blessings. Between our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahabas, there was a continuous competition. And our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was ever the first. The Sahabas were trying to beat him in wishing salams first, but they couldn't. They couldn't. He was the first. And he was the last to withdraw his hand from another's clasp. Last. Anybody shook hands with him? He's not the first to withdraw it. Like some of us do, you give your hand like a piece of ham, No. He was the last to withdraw. That means you had to withdraw your hand. This is what he taught us. He taught us, he says, you see, the younger should wish the elder first. He said, you see, the guy who's coming down the steps must wish the one who's going up the steps, naturally. The guy who's riding a horse or a camel or a donkey, he must wish the one who's walking. All this detail he gave us. But the problem is, what are we going to wish the guy that we see? We don't recognize who he is. And this, the Muslim, the Indian Muslim, he is going off. He's too clever. Islam is not in the hat. Islam is not in the beard. It's in the heart. But I said, now that means we can't recognize you. We don't know who you are. Unless it's a very close relationship. We don't know. Generally, we don't know who's who. So I go to Mauritius. A lot of Indian Muslims there. And nobody wishes one another salams there, in that country. Hardly. Some of the leading young men were taking me from meeting people. In the street, the leading guys of the societies. Nobody's wishing salams. Nobody. I'm inquisitive. I want to know why. Reason is because they all look alike. The Creole, the Indian, the Hindu, the Christian, everybody is the same. No identity. So now you don't want to make a fool of yourself. If you don't know, the guy looks familiar. But he says, Assalamu alaikum. I say, what's that? What did he say? You don't want to feel embarrassed. So rather, keep quiet. In Canada, the Muslims now, they say, hi, hi. Because it's safer. You don't make a mistake. You say hi, he knows hi. You might say, salam, what's that? Huh? You swearing me? No, you don't swear anybody. You don't want to create problem unnecessarily. So when I return from Mauritius, after this experience, they give me a chance to speak in the Jummah Masjid, Durban. And I shared this ayah. I read it and I started to explain. I says, you see, in Mauritius, this is my experience. People don't wish one another. And the reason is, they don't have a headgear. See, they're shy to have a headgear. Finished. That means gone. Now you don't know who's who. So after the Jummah, one of my dear friends, very close friend, from more than 30, 40 years, we are friends. Mr. G.M. Jamal, very well-known person. He is a sitarist, professional sitarist. He plays the sitar. So he tells me, Ahmad, he said, look, I want to tell you something, and you can tell it to the people. You can share it with the people. I said, what is it? He said, you see, our friend, the Golden Peacock, some Ali brothers, at a cinema they had a takeaway. And we are very close friends. So he says, now look, I go and stand there, and anybody comes for anything, I'm standing, chatting, passing time. So he says, half a dozen samosas, it's all right. He'll take it, fill it in the packet, give it to the man, take the money, give it to the teller. So he's standing there, and a young boy, handsome young lad, comes along. He says, I want half a dozen samosas. So he takes a paper bag, puts a half a dozen samosas, gives it to him, and he takes the money, he gives it to the cashier,